Again, Virginia Tech. Now it's Virginia, so forget about that. The game's over. It's 0-2 in the ACC, and there's ground to be made up. But if you win at Virginia or win the game straight up against Virginia, then you put yourself in a position to make it a logjam. But this is a must-win situation because Virginia is most likely the other best team in the division, and they are not going to lose too many more games. I don't remember exactly their cross-division situation, despite they do play Louisville every year. I don't remember who else they play. They already played Florida State. They beat Florida State, so they won the other non-division game. They've got Louisville, so that's not necessarily a difficult one for them. So they've already beaten Pitt, who's proven pretty capable, so they won that game at Pitt. They've got to play Miami on the road, so that's a lot of road games there. So I'm assuming the other games are many home games there lined up for Virginia. So they're in pretty good position right now. So you got to win this one head-to-head and then hope that they drop another one. You tie for the division lead, and you get to the ACC championship game that way.
Yeah, they got 3-3, so they're on the road against us, Louisville, and North Carolina. They're home against Duke, Georgia Tech, and Virginia Tech, and then they got another non-conference against Liberty mixed in there as well. But yeah, I mean, the season's on the line on Friday night, period, point blank. Just like Seth Meehan says, Miami ain't even making a bowl game this year. Look, that's what comes down to on Friday, honestly. That's the gravitas of this game. Like, literally, the season is on the line. You lose this game, there's no chance for you to win the Coastal. If you win this game, you still need, I would say, 2 games of help, to be comfortable. But you need at least another loss by Virginia, and then hope that, you guys are the only 2 with 2 losses at the top at the end of the year, and then, whatever. No, but I can't overstate this enough. 2-3 and 0-2 in the ACC. I mean, you lose to a average at best North Carolina team. You lose to a bad Virginia Tech team at home. And it speaks to the quality or lack thereof for the Miami Hurricanes this year. I mean, obviously Miami's not a good team, despite the level of talent on the roster. But the season now comes down to Friday's game against Virginia. And I mean, it's the season on the field, hopefully. I mean, because if you're halfway through the season with 2 wins, that means now you're fighting to get to bowl eligibility. When you have, some other games against teams who really, really, really want to take advantage of you not at being at your best. And then, I've talked about it for a long time, and we all know that this is where I started blogging. Bro, you lose this game, you're sitting at 2-4. Things are not going to go well in recruiting. And I'm not even talking about the big targets. Like, get rid of that. Like, just put those out of your mind. The Justin Flows of the world, the, whatever 5 stars, that Miami was in conversation with. Put that all the way out of your mind. Start thinking about the guys who are a tier below that. Solid 4 stars, high 4 stars. Start thinking about the guys in this class, because they might start looking around, to be perfectly honest. That's what this game can mean. I mean, it is all hands on deck. Like, this is the season on Friday. And if you don't believe me, that's perfectly fine. But bro, the season is literally on the line. And again, it has been passed on transitively from Virginia Tech to us, because Virginia Tech was having all these conversations about the validity of their season moving forward. Before last week's game, people were calling for Justin Fuente to be fired. You're talking about this, that, and the third, quarterback switches, and what are they doing on defense, and all these conversations that we're having now, all this baggage. Virginia Tech literally said, "Hey, Miami, here you go. You can have that now," because everything is roses and sunshine up in Blacksburg. And I said this on Twitter, and people came at me because, there's a level of snark to it, but it's true. Miami found a way to lose to inferior Virginia teams when Al Golden was the coach, and that kept Mike London employed quite literally several times. Miami just gifted Justin Fuente the same thing. A bad, inferior Virginia Tech team comes in here, and we gift them a win and stave off the execution block for him and keep him employed. This is the thing that Miami has specialized in for the teams in the state of Virginia over the course of like a decade now. And if you don't believe it, well, then, hey, that's perfectly fine. But that's what happened. We saved that man's job by not playing to the level that Miami Hurricanes should play to. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. And regardless of anything else, this season, put all the other stuff out, who's injured, the season comes down to this 60 minutes at Hard Rock Stadium on Friday. What you got?
And you're basically making two statements. When you make that statement, as you pointed out, do the metrics, do the math. It's pretty easy to see that Virginia's not going to win this game, then go lose 3 other games. So the season's over in regards to winning the Coastal Division Championship. You win this, you're back in it. Okay, then you're hoping that they lose somewhere else down the line. You tie in the standings, you've got the head-to-head, and you're good to go, and you win the division championship. Mm-hmm. You go to 3 losses in the conference. They remain at 0 losses. Their loss was at Notre Dame, out of conference. They're not losing 3 games. Well, they're not losing 4 games at that point, because you've got to. So anyway, it's over. But then you're taking it to another degree. You're looking down the road in regards to the challenges of going on the recruiting path, the recruiting trail, and trying to lure the type of athletes you need at Miami, even though most of them are right in your backyard, with a 5-7 season, 6-6 season, whatever it becomes.
Right. And, Miami's not been able to recruit well when we have bad seasons. Other teams can do it. Notre Dame goes 4-8. They're a national brand, so it is what it is. Florida State goes 5-7. They have a top 15 recruiting class. They recruit better than Miami in that year that they were that bad.
MiamiMoneyball.com. It's MiamiMoneyball.com. And what you do is you go there and you select any number of games, and they focus on Florida football teams, the Dolphins, the Canes, the Gators, the Seminoles. The one that I chose was Miami and Virginia for this week, and you've got 12 stats categories. And for example, let's see if you can get it closer than me. N'Kosi Perry with 236 passing yards. I would tend to think I'm a little low on that, but that's what I went with. 236 passing for N'Kosi this Friday night. I can't wait for this game. I've been looking forward to this game the entire offseason. Now, I expected Miami's record to be a little bit better. Let's see, they're 2-3. I was probably more in the 4-1 range. Yeah, at this point. And Virginia is right about where I thought, but certainly looking forward to this game, because I still think, regardless of what we've seen to date, that they're the 2 best teams for different reasons, the 2 best teams in the division.
Yeah. Miami is still supremely talented. I don't think that we're well coached right now. I don't think that they're holding up their end of the bargain. Obviously, the defense, like I've said, they're not holding up the end of the bargain either. And I hope that what we saw in the second half against Virginia Tech is more of the offensive system going forward, because I've been saying it for years that we need to go more spread. That's when I wrote the piece, that spawned the hashtag Let's Be Jerks about, bringing in Lane Kiffin. That was about offensive innovation. And that was before we hired Mark Richt. You know what I mean? Like, I've been saying this for a long, long time. Pace and space. That is my preferred offensive style, whether it's in basketball, whether it's in football. Like, use the athletes that you have. Like, you saw Brevin Jordan come alive, and he's a nightmare mismatch, even if you want to go conservative offense, but still, like, you can't guard that guy. Then you got Jeff Thomas and Mark Pope. You can't run with them. You get D. Wiggins in there, who's big and fast. You get Brian Hightower in there. You get KJ Osborne, who's just a technician. You get Will Mallory in there. You get TJ Dallas, Cam Harris in the backfield. Like, it's what I want. And it's been what I've wanted for many years. And I hope that we come out with that. And honestly, I hope that Dan Enos puts his pride to the side, because, again, every coach has what they want to do offensively, defensively. If you run a program, if you run a marketing department, if you're a teacher with a program, whatever it is, you have the way that you want things to go, and then you have the way that things work. And we've seen the way that he wants them to go is not necessarily working. But then when, hey, look, we got to open it up, we got to do these other things, and that's what hits pay dirt. Stick with that, Dan. Please.